Hi guys, how are you doing? I'm glad you've been enjoying the bedroom test that I've been doing on amps, the low wattage amps. Today we're going to do something that some would regard as a bit silly. I've done this before, probably a couple of times as my amps have changed over the years. And what it is basically every amp I have, I put a bedroom volume mic up with an SM57 and see which you guys think is the best, and see if you think it's worth getting a low wattage amp or an amp like say the Kraken where you can actually turn the wattage right down. So we have here 6 amps that I've managed to just squeeze in the shop there. I don't know if you can see the Kraken and the LVX one behind me. And they're all completely different specs, completely different tones, completely different feels, completely different wattage. So let's start with the Marshall DSL. The Marshall DSL up here is specifically designed for use at home at bedroom volume. You know, that's what it's made for. It is pretty loud on the 1 watt mode. It does have a 0.5 mode as well that is really good, and that is better. That is more bedroom volume to me. Living with neighbours joined onto me and stuff, that's what I would use on a 0.5 mode. The EVH LBX Stealth is an amp that is 15 watts. It's a modern sounding amp. Now this amp has a 1/4 power switch, which I'm not sure if the wattage it actually reduces it to, but what I can tell you is that I can get the master up to about, well, where it is now, just over 3 in the house, and that's pretty cool. That is a much improvement from the head over here, which is an LBX1, the original head, which has a fantastic tone, tons of mid-range grind to it. If you like a lot of mids, this will be the head for you, buy and mids. However, the 1/4 power switch on this head is not as good as the EVH Stealth. It mainly removes some of the headroom more than actually lowers the output. On the new one, it's just absolutely fantastic. So the EVH LBX1, which gives you the blue and the red channels, will take your head off still, in my opinion, in the house, even on 1/4 power, whereas the new Stealth doesn't do that. It's fantastic. Down here we have the EVH 6L6 50 watt Stealth. Obviously that amp is not a bedroom amp, it's designed for stages and studios. I've started using this head quite a lot. The more I've used it, the more it's grown on me. To be honest, when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, it's really good, but is it as awesome as the regular 6L6 50 watt mini? And I think it is. I think it's better. Once you get used to using it, you need to dial in just a bit of extra low end, and it can handle a hell of a lot more gain as well. It's very tight. It's a much more tighter, compressed, more modern amp, in my opinion. Bedroom volume, obviously, when we use bedroom volume on this amp, unfortunately, it's going to be probably lower than 1. And it might be a bit fizzy because it's not opened the amp up, but because it's got 6L6 and because it's a big amp, will it sound better anyway? That's the question. Do we need more than 1 amp? That's what the question that we're trying to answer today. We're going to find that out. At the bottom down here, covered up, is my EL34 100S. I call it the EVH mothership because that is the mothership, in my opinion. It's the EVH with the most gain. It's the loudest EVH. It's also the one with the most low-end punch. Now, that is crazy for home use. You'd have to be a live player. But the question is, with that being a bigger, fatter amp tonally, at low volumes, we know that these amps are a bit fizzier. At low volumes, is the EL34S100 worse sounding than the other amps because they're built for home use, particularly these two, or is it still better because obviously it's just a bigger, broader, wider, more three-dimensional tone coming from the amp anyway? Does that do that at all volumes? That's the question. We're moving over to the Kraken over here. This is a bit of a special one because it's a 50 watt head, but it does power down to what Victory says 2 watts. It's still pretty loud. 1 on the dial on that head on the lowest power mode is still quite loud for in the house. It's a great head though if you're into that more creamier tone, but today we're just doing the bedroom test, we're just doing the volume test. Let's see what happens. I've got a Hessel 212 down here, mic with an SM57. That SM57 is going straight into the camera, okay? And that's it. I'm going to play one riff on each head it's not really about the tone, it's about whether, well, it is about the tone. I suppose you can put in the comments which one you prefer, but it's also about, do we need to buy these low watt amps, which I've become a bit addicted to adding to the collection lately, or can we just really turn down the 100 watt head and be satisfied? Playing wise, what I will say is that when I have the DSL on 0.5 mode and I put it on about 3, as you saw in my other video, I felt like I was pushing it and it felt good and I didn't need to crank it anymore. The LBX Stealth gives me the same feeling on about 3.5. I feel like that's it. It sounds good. I don't feel the need to keep pushing the volume. Obviously the 50 and the 100 completely different. I still feel like I want to crank them even though I can't. And to be honest, the Kraken gives me that feeling as well, even on the lowest watt mode. The LBX one, same. So there's only really these two heads that don't give me that feeling where I need to crank them when they're on bedroom mode. Obviously, the EVH Stealth and the EL34S and the LBX1 do not have bedroom mode, as I call them, like these two heads and the Kraken. So without further ado, one riff, drop D. I'm using a DK2 pink neon Jackson over there, and like I said, the SM57 Hesu Cab V30 is in it. Let's go.